Hello, welcome to part 3 of chapter 13, Journey of the Heart, The Path of Conscious Love by John Welwood, as we continue with this, working with isolation tendencies. So we've got the Art Nouveau Tarot and the Oracle of the Red Circus. So let's have a look, see what message are we getting today with this. What message are we getting today? What message is important when we working with isolation tendencies? When we're working with isolation tendencies, what are we doing? Oh, don't know what that was. Okay. Oh, wasn't expecting that one to fly out, but anyway. Okay, so I've got an extra card here. It's pouring out of me. Right, okay, so let's have a look. What cards have I pulled out? Got the stars. We're looking for hope. We're looking for a wish. Looking for our dreams. As we analyse the situation that we find ourselves in regards to the relationship, feels like there's a lack of romance in our life. We're looking for romance. We're looking for that genuineness in our life. I feel like there's a real lack of. The reason why I say lack was because it was actually reversed, right? There's a lack of romance in our life. Queen of Cups, we're dealing with hurt emotions. You know, we've got this underlining hurt, wounded emotions that we're sort of taking out on the world. I feel like this is what I'm getting here. That we've got this, even though we're caring for other people and everything like that, in a way, we sort of got this hurt, this wound. Feels like we've got in doom and gloom. We're feeling like our world's turned upside down. This is where I keep getting these two cards together. You've got the Queen of Cups, Queen of Chalices with the Tower card together. And so you've got this wound, this deep, deep wound that's sort of shaking up our world. It's sort of, I think we're really sort of taking out our emotions on other people. Feels like our world, it could be a little bit overwhelming. We may retreat. And so we've got the Knave of Pentacles. There's a lot to learn and discover in our journey. I feel like there's a lot to learn, a lot to discover. Moving through changes, a lot to make changes, a lot of transformation, transitional stages that we're moving through. We're making some huge changes. There's some stuff that needs to end, so some new stuff can come through. So that we have that sense of self-care, taking care of yourself, pampering. A little bit of luxury is okay. A little bit of self-care, a little bit of pampering is okay and through this journey. So I feel like we're dealing with a lot of hurt. This feels like our world's turned upside down. We're in a bit of a shake thing. And so we're trying to find ourselves stand on solid ground. We're trying to sort of get our feet firmly on the ground again, feel a sense of groundedness. There's a lot for us to learn and discover. As we move through the changes to allow ourselves the sense of gain, attainment, the sense of gaining something. And that comes from self-care. Okay, so what have we got from the Oracle of the Red Circus? What messages have we got today? Ladybug. The ladybug indicates that you will receive some much needed good luck as long as you tread carefully. So as you learn and discover and you move forward, you're going to get what you need. Oh, you need to be careful of being distracted. And I think a lot of it is like that old wounds and things distracting you from where you don't need to go. Be careful about not dwelling in your old wounds. Oh, with addictive behaviour, with addiction. It's possible that the addictive behaviour of a friend or yourself is preventing you from enjoying life fully. Look into available help. So know that you're not alone in this process, but I do feel like you've got this sense of repeated patterns, bad habits with it all. So there's a lot of stuff there to sort of think about for a minute. There's a lot of things just to sort of take a minute to breathe and think about what's keeping you, what's that thing that's keeping you in the same place continually, where you're doing the same thing over and over again. That's really important that you sort of get the support that you need. Be careful that's not distracting you from healing, from moving forward. So let's have a look at what we're up to here. Working with isolation tendencies. Since our aggressive tendencies are a wounded way of trying to make contact, these monsters can be transformed by someone making contact with us in a powerful new way. It is often much harder, however, for our partner to tame those parts of us that seek isolation or run from intimacy. The lone wolf, the Peter Pan, or the Amazon. The lone wolf, one who, in the words of Robert Bly, of a Robert Bly poem, eats distance and silence, cannot trust himself with women because he has not yet ripened as a man. Similarly, a woman who hardens into an Amazonian who needs men stance usually has not fully ripened as a woman. Another way of isolating is by remaining a perpetual adolescence, what the Jungians call a per or turmus, or internal boy. This kind of male has brief and fleeting contact with women and may be a Don Juan, flitting like a bee from flower to flower. I don't quite because I actually got to stop there for a second, just taking a breath for a second as I read that. I actually don't agree completely with that fact of needing a man or needing a woman. I feel like it's about needing another person in your life and part of a relationship. Okay, it could be about, whether that is, and I don't think that's completely true. It's about how you react with people. It's not needing people. It's about, I don't feel like it's like you're needing people. It's feeling like, I don't feel like that's quite the right description. For me, it feels like about it's not who stance usually not fully ripened. I don't believe that. Another way of isolating by remaining. Oh, anyway, I just had to stop for a second and breathe because I just sort of like, I want to think about relationships being completely with woman and woman, men and men, woman and men, men and women, or in they and them, whatever's right for you, okay, in a relationship. And I think that the ways that we react with other people are important. And we can all have bits of these different parts within us. Okay, so and there's some things in here that I don't quite agree with. I mean, the overall picture's really good. The overall information's really good. But some of the words or the context that he uses is not something I totally agree with. I just feel like another person's love can help bring out a woman, the feminine qualities as well as the masculine qualities within it. Finding that balance between the masculine and feminine energies for me. So I feel like this just doesn't resonate in many ways. Even though overall the book's brilliant, there's parts of it, and I'm going to be really honest here, that is very much male and female energy, right? And so for me, I feel like it's very much man and woman. But it's not about that. For me, it's very much about the masculine and feminine energies when I read this. So I sort of don't agree with everything that this author has said. Overall, I love the book. Don't get me wrong. But there are little bits and qualities, little bits here that I feel need to be adjusted in the wording. So, what I would say would be a partner's love can help bring out the qualities, whether it's feminine or masculine qualities, or that balance of qualities, should I say, the balance of qualities. Beyond, up to a point. Beyond that point, if they're not connected with their own deepest feminine or masculine energy, that balance, finding that balance, they may not be able to ripen and heal through contact with other women who can model and transmit the feminine quality she's missing. Similarly, a wounded male may need to ripen and develop as a man through connecting with other men who can model genuine yang power for him. Unfortunately, men today only remain perpetual adolescents because they lack guidance from older, wiser males. Male power has been so abused, and the wild male spirit has become so subjugated by the forces of materialism that we have difficulty finding older male wisdom we can respect. Our world is dominated by young yang run amok, and fake male power is seen as our fascination with weapons of destruction and our brash attempts to exploit the earth. We accord hero status to rock stars who make careers out of being rebellious kids, to macho cult figures like Rambo, or to men who spend most of their lives off the ground, in corporate headquarters at the top of skyscrapers. What is cool today is to resist growing up to be a whiz kid who thinks himself too smart and clever to join the ranks of adult men. So it's not surprising that in most American households, a boy's father has little to transmit in the way of heaven wisdom or old yang power. Without such a transmission, a man will fear female power or flee from it by denying that the earth has any hold on him at all. Seeking to rise above the earth, he becomes a flying boy, like Icarus or Peter Pan. As a symbol, flying represents the folly and arrogance of a young yang, trying to imitate the heaven wisdom of old yang, without having to undergo the discipline of working with earthly constraints. The flying boy often comes from a family in which the mother turns to him for the juice she finds lacking in her husband. As a result of this intention, he always needs to feel special. He may enjoy playing to women as an audience, but he is really capable of sustained intimacy. What a flying boy needs before he can come down to earth and engage with a woman is to connect with the genuine male of power. In tradition cultures, initiation rituals conducted by a community of older males or by a spiritual teacher serve to transmit old yang wisdom and power to younger males. Older men in tribal cultures would often take boys from their mothers as they entered puberty. The boys would live with them, dance with them, hear their stories, and go through difficult trials before the older males deemed them worthy of entering the world of men. Although men today may have to engage in extensive search to find an older male who can transmit authentic masculine wisdom, this is an important part of our development that we cannot skip over lightly. It also can help us connect more deeply with women, often spending a powerful week with a group of other men, one man I know remarked. To my surprise, I found that relating with men helped me more than anything else in learning how to relate to women. A man I knew with pure tendencies had a hard time after the arrival of his first son, when he could no longer have his wife's attention all to himself. Suddenly he was not the special kid anymore. He had to assume an adult role. What helped him through this crisis was his connection with his spiritual teacher, a man he deeply respected who had taught him that difficult situations are often the best opportunities for growth. By trying to put these teachings into practice, he managed to steady himself and gain perspective on his situation. Even though his teacher was not physically present, he was able to use this relationship to tame his tendency to bolt and run. This crisis proved to be a watershed in his personal development, and it also helped him give himself more fully to his marriage. A woman may have to go through similar journey before she can open fully to a man, especially in a patriarchal society where women have been trained to please and serve men first and foremost. Young women often flee commitment out of fear of being dominated and controlled, or else they may turn against men altogether, hardening into a self-sufficient Amazon stance in order to go beyond Puella or Amazon tendencies. Women may have to connect more deeply with old yin, with the dark feminine earth power. They may have to go through a period of not being nice and pretty, of discovering their rage, their grief, and their ability to stand on their own and face life as it is. They may also may need to seek out a community of women with whom to share their experiences. Some have described this process as a descent to the goddess, to the primordial roots of the feminine psyche, enabling a woman to develop confidence in her deep female nature. This in turn can enable her to come back and engage with men on a renewed sense of strength and self-acceptance, opening new channels. As we free our wild spirit from the heavy load of karma or past conditioning that has distorted it, we open new channels through which our elemental male or female energies can flow more freely. As this happens, all the different areas of relationships start to brighten up, becoming more lively and vivid. We make love with more intensity. We fight with more brilliance. We reveal ourselves more courageously. We feel moved to extend our love more fully into the world around us. And we love interest in the war of the sexes, for we are too busy enjoying the dance. Okay, I want to make a little disclaimer here. I'm loving this book, and I really believe in there are relationships that work really, really well together on an intimacy level. But I'm not saying that everybody is wired to be in an intimate relationship one-on-one with a man or a woman, or of the opposite sex. Okay, some people are more connected to being with someone of the same sex, and that's okay. It's about finding that balance between the yin and yang energies that we have within all of us. When I'm talking about relationships and love, I'm not talking about just being of someone of the opposite sex, okay? I'm talking about being with someone intimately and having that balance within the relationship of both yin and yang. We all carry those energies within us in some way, and some of us may be more tendent to the feminine energies and some more tendent to the masculine energies, but in finding that balance is what's important here. Okay, I just want to make that disclaimer here. I'm not talking about being only men and women in relationships. I'm talking about relationships of all sorts. Okay, of all sorts of relationships in all sorts of ways, and no way is right or wrong. It's whatever works for you in balance. Okay, in balance is what's important here. So I really want to make that disclaimer. I've felt like I love this book. I love the information, the messages that are sort of sharing with you, but I also want to bring a sense of balance to it all. It is about finding that balance within all relationships that we have with people of the same sex, of the opposite sex, people who are in whatever way whatever works for them personally. So I just want to make that very, very clear. Okay, so that's it for today. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care, and blessed be.